here, and today we're kicking off our brand new segment called Forgotten Sci-Fi. This is going to be a weekly series, and basically we're going to go over science fiction, movies, books, and television shows that no one talks about anymore, because a lot of these are really, really good, but they may have been forgotten. And today, first, we're going to go with one of my all-time favorites, and that's Cube. It was a movie released on September 11th, 1998, with one of the main characters being David Hewlett. Now, if you enjoy sci-fi, you may recognize the name. He played Dr. Rodney McKay on all 5 seasons of Stargate Atlantis. He was also did guest roles on Stargate Universe and Stargate SG-1. He did numerous guest spots on SG-1. He's been in a lot of other television sci-fi, movie sci-fi. He's a fantastic Canadian actor. But before we get into Cube, we need to take one step back where David Hewlett did a Canadian short film from the same writer and director of Cube, which was called Elevated. And it was all about 3 people in an elevator. It's a 20-minute film. You should really check it out. It's available right here on YouTube. It is very, very good. I enjoyed it greatly. So that director went on to write Cube, and David Hewlett went on to act in Cube as one of the main characters. Now, you see a lot of things from Cube carry on into modern sci-fi and modern horror, because Cube was, in fact, a sci-fi horror, which is an often overlooked subgenre of sci-fi, which I tremendously enjoy. I love sci-fi horror. It's fantastic. So one of the things that Cube did and really cemented into the culture, even though it was not a huge box office movie, it's gained quite a following over the many years on DVD and stuff like that and streaming. But it was never hugely successful at the box office. But it does have that cult inspiration, and what that is if you watch movies like Saw. If you watch television shows that are sci-fi, like Dark Matter, both of these open up the same way Cube opens up, which is a bunch of people waking up and not knowing how they got there. And sometimes not even quite who they are, and they have to discover that. And that's all part of their journey. With that being said, you definitely see that in the first Saw movie, and that kind of carries on a little bit from there. And Dark Matter, absolutely fantastic sci-fi show by Joseph Malozzi. Big fan. He was also from Stargate. He was a writer. He was just all around really solid. But you could tell he definitely took a little bit of inspiration when he created Dark Matter from Cube and a couple other sources. And that's what creative people do. They draw in their sources and create from that. And so let's talk about what Cube is about. So Cube is about these 7 people that wake up in a room. It's a cube. Every side, every wall, the ceiling are all exactly the same. They don't know how they got there, and they don't know why they're there. So basically, the movie is them going from cube to cube, because each one of these walls has a circular portal in it, and they're all identical, and you can go in any direction and open the door to that one and go in there. And it's another cube. However, some of these cubes have traps in them, laser lines that'll cut you up. There's all kinds of traps, and they have to find their way through to try to survive. But at the same time, they don't know why they're there. And eventually, now this is where spoilers kick in, but if you haven't seen Cube by now, you need to. The purpose of the cube is that there is no purpose. And I love that so much. I think it was such a brilliant writing decision. And so what that means is the architect of the cube is one of the people. And he admits later on in the movie that there is no purpose of the cube. But if people are not put in the cube, then there is no purpose for it. And so the cube is being used, but you still don't know why these people are selected. Overall, it's a great journey, and there are 2 more movies in the series. There's going to be Cube 2, Hypercube, and then there is Cube 0, which is the 3rd part, but it's also a prequel. And so each one of those movies have their own merits, but for me personally, the original Cube is the one. I found this as one of my favorite horror sci-fi movies. I urge you to check it out and see what you think about it. Go check it out. Also, like I said, check out Elevated. It's a Canadian short film. It's 20 minutes long, starring David Hewlett. You are going to find it fascinating. It is really, really well done. I'm a big fan of single room movies. So if a movie is filmed in a single room, you need to have good, solid writing. I don't care so much personally about special effects. I don't care so much personally about, oh, this person may not be the best actor in the world. Because, say something's low budget, they did phenomenal for the money they had. And that's why Cube is one of those. It may not have the greatest special effects in the world. It's a good story. They may not have had a big budget to hire actors, but they hired phenomenal actors for the money they had. And you have to appreciate that. So definitely check out Cube. Check out the short film Elevated before you check out Cube. And that way you kind of get a sense of the writing style of this guy. And let me know what you think. Post in the comments. I'm very interested. If you have any suggestions on movie, television shows, or books from sci-fi genre that you would like to see us go over, I will be happy to do that. I have a couple ready to go right now. And if you want to help support the channel, our Patreon will be listed below. So you're not required to, but boy, that would help us out a lot, and we appreciate it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week on Forgotten Sci-Fi.